Hi, I'm Peter Nixon, recording here in Hong Kong for the Potential Dialogue Institute online and introducing the different streams of modules that you can choose from for your tailored in-company courses or for online learning. Today, I would like to briefly introduce you to the modules related to driving results. And here I highlight my newest book, which highlights the problems that we're facing. Now we're in a pandemic and the worst recession since the Great Depression. So it's the most important time to drive results. And I'll explain more about that as we get into the different modules. We cover 6 modules in the driving results stream. I'll tell you about the TMS Wheel, that's about team management, a module that I've worked on for years and years, one of the best team management models. I'll tell you about situational leadership and how that is kind of foundational for teaching leaders and managers how to do a better job. I'll share my personal experience learning and becoming an expert in time management, because we can waste an awful lot of time in our online worlds nowadays, and we need to be better at that. In the next module, I share 2 really valuable leadership models because these may be really helpful for you in your situations, and it's a door to open whether you want to go deeper into those as well. And then in cultural hurdles, this is where I talk about my new book and how those particular behaviors of the best companies can be mirrored in your organization to become successful. And the last one, Teams and Compares, brings us right back to getting along and the modules that I have discussed in the Getting Along stream that relate to your motives and your strengths or behaviors when things are going well and things are not going so well. So first, in terms of the TMS wheel, TMS stands for Time Management Systems. It's an organization based in Australia and in the UK. I've been accredited with their materials for years. It's probably one of the most sensible team models I've ever worked with. And that's probably because it's so heavily researched and it's just smartly built. It combines Belbin's team roles with Jungian type theory. And as you can see on line on this picture, it also identifies the specific things that good teams do well. And then you can ask yourself, and we can help you open the door to do the online assessments if you want, to figure out where is your strength as a team and where are your weaknesses as a team, which is another reason why I love this particular model. The next one, the situational leadership model, I've learned years ago. I've shared it with all sorts of organizations. It first kind of came to light in the 1 Minute Manager book, which is very old by current standards. But I'm reminded that a leader's most important job is to create other leaders. And if you're going to do that, you need to tell people what to do, coach them how to do it, and then step back and encourage them to do it without you being involved. And only then can you delegate. But in a lot of organizations, people just throw you onto a task and tell you to do it and delegate without any of the details on how to do that. And that is why most performance problems today are caused by the leader and not by the person doing the work. The person doing the work needs to be told what to do, how to do it, given the resources, given the encouragement, the time, and the boss has to resolve all the inherent conflicts, because today we're working on many projects all at the same time. And you can't expect your staff to sort out a matrix organization, for example. So this is where we get into those types of problems. This is not my theory, but certainly in terms of giving instructions, delegating effectively, and coaching, that's pretty universal. And so I like to start that subject with this model and then get more deeply into your specific scenarios. Time management is a favorite topic of mine, and it has been for 40 years. And I'll tell you why. It's because I read this book 40 years ago, the first edition. It was given to me, and I read it as a college exercise in a business class. And it shocked me. It shocked me of how little time we have to achieve our goals and objectives. And so I decided at that tender age of 17 to make the most of my life. Now, fortunately, I'm still alive, and I've had an incredibly rewarding life and family and opportunities to travel the world and do some cool work. But uh, the goal of this module is to help you do the same, to figure out how to manage your time better. Because not until you realize how little time we have on this planet Earth and compare that to the perhaps large goals that you wish to achieve, the important but not urgent goals, that box number 4. Until you figure out how to get those ones ticked off, it's very hard to accomplish anything else other than just reacting to the forest fires that erupt at work and online all the time. So this one I think is really important. It's very personally important for me as well. The next module is the module that I have in the PDI online program, where I introduce other important leadership models. Henry Mintzberg from McGill is a great mentor of mine. I could touch on his materials. Robin Stewart Coetzee, I started the business of behavioral science systems in Asia with Robin and David West. Robin is still working hard and has a fantastic leadership assessment tool, which I use specifically in situations where there is a lot of wasted effort by leaders dissipating energy in the organizations. So that's comes out of there. And then the other model that I introduced in this module is from Michael Fullan, who is quite well known in the education circles because he has consulted at the highest levels to education ministries around the world. And he very kindly allowed me to print and attribute his model, which you see on the screen, which is a little bit different than a lot of the other leadership models that you might see out there in the marketplace. And I like it a lot. And that can generate some very interesting dialogue about your scenarios, your role as a leader, and maybe the leaders you work with or have to face up against. So that's a pretty key module in this drive-in results stream. The cultural hurdles module is where I dive into the, here you see 8 on the screen, the 9 specific hurdles that I have identified that separate the best organizations from all of the rest. And we can talk about those. I'll explain what they mean. And you can ask yourself and assess, how does your organization rate? Where are you okay? And where are you getting stuck? And it's so important to become good at those. And finally, the last module in this stream is back to the core strength deployment inventory online tool, where you can actually look at your team members' results, and I can help you assess how specific pairings of individuals in your team will match up, as well as with the team color chart in a previous module. You can look at how does your team perform in terms of effective behaviors in the scenarios that you're facing. So all of this is important for driving results. I've covered in the various introductory videos on the 5 streams 30 different modules, and you've probably heard me say all 30 are important. But the nice thing is we'll work with you to share our knowledge. With our knowledge and asking you questions based on our experience, we'll pick the modules that are most relevant to your goals and your situation, and then we'll use our experience and knowledge to help you refine your technique in applying these in your scenarios. So great stuff. Looking forward to working with you. And be sure to contact us if you have any questions, and look for us online. This is all going live as we speak. Cheers. Thank you. Stay safe. Wear a mask, and we'll all get through this pandemic together.